actually on now, Greg. So you guys take over the conversation. We were just talking about what? Anybody?
Uh, we were talking about how we were ready for it to be live because it is Geeks Week and it's Thursday, and we're covering this month in the world of marketing.
Woo!
And
It should
everyone
be this
was,
week in the world of marketing because everything basically happened this week.
yeah, there was a vast majority of it that did happen this week. Yeah, and so I'll start off with my name is Phelan. I work at Seymour Digital Media with Pip, where we focus on search engine marketing.
And below
I'm
me
Rena.
is Go.
I'm Rena from Little Works Indie Media. We run a boutique agency in Vancouver, and when I say we, I mean me. I do.
And I am Greg McKinnon with Original 72 Creative.
And together we get on here and help each other with marketing. Yeah. So we were just all in a tizzy about the guy that's been fired and hired. Who wants to start off there?
It's like where's Waldo? Where is he today?
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess I'll do the kind of background to what's been going on. So most people, if you're in the world of ChatGPT is owned by a company called OpenAI. OpenAI was started by a man named Sam Altman, and he was unceremoniously thrown out by the board of OpenAI, and it was
What do
quite
you call it? Come on, you have a name for it.
a defenestrated, which is a great word that means to unwindow someone.
Unwindow. It sounds like it might be. Is that because people can get pushed out of a window here and there?
That's
Piano
literally
falls
where
on them.
it comes from. If you ever go to Prague, apparently the windows are very large and people fall out of them quite frequently. And
But
then
they're low. They're very low. So
yeah,
they're not at your waist.
Okay, that's pretty funny. So he got thrown out of a window, metaphorically, and brought back in through a different window.
Basically Microsoft hired him back, and then OpenAI had a letter signed by 93% of its staff saying that if you don't hire him, we're going to go work at Microsoft with Sam Altman. So then they formed a new company inside of the original OpenAI, because there's actually another company already formed inside of it. So they formed another company. That company hired Sam Altman and then bought out the nonprofit. So
what? Repeat that.
So he couldn't be rehired to the company that he was fired from. So they formed a new company, and then that company then ate OpenAI.
Dude, shit up. That's all it is around money.
And aren't they all owned by Microsoft, though?
No, they were heavily invested with Microsoft, but legally they were not allowed, because a nonprofit is not allowed to take corporate donations. They had to form an LLC that could take corporate donations, and so the original nonprofit basically just kind of died, but it still technically had all the rights of who could hire and fire Sam Altman.
And so that is sort of the what happened with him in the last couple of days, week or so. Phelan, you were mentioning a couple of things. Can you get into why all of this started happening in the first place? Because that's something that is almost more interesting. Like, why did all this happen?
Yeah. So it's a lot of, apparently Sam also wasn't very honest with the board. They had like documented where he would say one thing to the board and then do a different thing. So like they weren't going to go get regulation. Then all of a sudden he's flying to Washington D.C. to go and get ChatGPT regulated. And so there's a lot of that kind of stuff. And it also had to do with the way that the shares worked. It's the more I read into it, the more it's like it's really complicated, and I'm not like an accountant, especially for the U.S. But it has to do with the board of the nonprofit. They had shares, but Sam didn't have shares, and so he was going to spend the $10 billion differently than how the board wanted to spend the $10 billion, so that they could get basically a big payout from the whole thing. And so they were not aligned with how to use the money, and so that also probably paid. As much as they use the excuse of like lying to them, I'm going to wager that probably the $10 billion that landed in their bank account probably also had a big incentive on how they were all acting about it. Because the other thing that's also interesting to note that I got reminded about yesterday when I was reading about Mike Isaac, who's the New York Times guy who's been following all this, that Microsoft wasn't allowed to profit off of that $10 billion they invested. That money had to only be used by OpenAI to grow the business, but it could not be used to grow Microsoft's business. So
I
that's
see.
basically, yeah. So that was a really interesting, like, I don't know how that would be enforced, but it was pretty interesting that they had the $10 billion. Microsoft couldn't get paid back the $10 billion. It had to basically be like a one-time donation kind of thing. And with that, the part of the deal is that they couldn't, yeah, so they just had $10 billion sitting there.
Hmm.
Mm. Interesting. So I guess we'll all stay tuned for more on him, but that brings us really to the AI stuff, which is kind of, I just heard that Wix launched a new ability to put your meta description in, or they'll help you auto generate your meta descriptions. So that was interesting. I was like, okay. Um, and Google also already like auto generates those, like depending on what you're searching, right? Like even if you put them in, they reserve the right to change them.
Mm.
There was a big hubbub about it last year or 2 years ago. I don't know.
Yeah.
In the last 5 years, like it's all melding into one. So yeah, lots of changes with AI stuff, and so
Oh yeah, there was an AI thing that I experienced the other day that was actually remarkable on Shopify. I
mm,
actually solved an entire problem with an AI bot, and it didn't require any help documents. They weren't just sending me like random links. It actually went through. I wish that I had, saved that, but I couldn't believe it. It was a bot. It wasn't a person, and it actually understood exactly what I was asking for, which was not a straightforward question. And then it proceeded to talk me through the solution. I was quite impressed.
that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
I have done so, Greg. I haven't told you this or anyone else, besides Phelan and Rena, but I've started using scripts in Google Ads and Google Sheets, and I'll get it to write me a script on what I'm thinking, like what I want, and I tell it, and it writes a script, and you can put it in, and when you test it and it breaks, because I don't know what I'm doing, you can copy it and tell Chat GPT. There's an error. This is the error. Fix it. And it fixes it. So that was quite brilliant. I've done some cool things. So it's kind of neat. I know that we're all going to they're saying that 70% of marketers have now started using it,
Yeah.
chat, or any type of AI, but we've been using AI for a long time. It just wasn't called that, I think, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit of a misnomer because it's not necessarily intelligence. It's more of a large language model that's
Yeah.
closer to what it actually is, which
Yeah.
is what that's why I always figured that Shopify would actually do really well with an AI system because they
Yeah.
basically have all of their support tickets, they have all of their forums, they have all of their documents, and if you had like a large language model go over those, it would be able to understand people's problems and as well as find like, oh, this was a solution that was found for this issue. Because they usually it's pretty repeatable, like 9 times out of 10. It's very rare that it's like a actual bug in the system. It's more just like, oh, we didn't set up this thing this way, and there's a solution.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
I was also going to say that in Google Ads, there's also you'll notice that there's AI has come in a lot more. I don't know if you've seen it in any of your accounts, but uh, AI generated images as well as AI generated headlines and uh, the longer the descriptions that
Mm-hmm.
you can get those created as well. I found them extremely underwhelming, but it's still like beta, so I'm not exactly as it's one of those things that the more it does it, the better it gets. But for now, it's there, so it's interesting to see it out in the wild.
Yeah, it is. I mean, they do the drop down, right, of the text, but they're taking a lot of text that you either written or is on the website, or yeah, it's interesting. I mean, we just I think it's called keep up now, you know? Like marketing should be called just keep up, and I mean, we're in a great position because companies, marketers were the first people they let go years ago. Like at the newspaper I worked at, the photographer and the and the marketing department got let go first in a recession. And now, if you don't have a marketing consultant in your back pocket, like you could really hurt yourself because you need people that specialize in this stuff, right?
Totally.
So
Totally.
I think it's
It
wild.
it's not what it, even I was trying to explain that even working with the WordPress template is not straightforward. It's as how it sounds. It's like you still have to kind of figure things out, and it is a big learning curve, and people do get stuck. And if
There's definitely a learning curve on figuring out how the template is actually set up and works before
yeah,
you can,
but
use
but
it
it's
properly.
almost a misnomer. People think that when they're getting a template that it's gonna like come pre-organized with boxes of for you to fill content in, and that's not
Yeah.
exactly right. And when you can buy those from Theme Forest, but my experience with buying one way back in the olden days, I don't know if this is still the case, but is that you're beholden to whether or not that developer who created it knows what they're doing. So if they've made a mistake, and the one that a business coach sent me to fix, they had put the menu item sits behind the banner, not in front of it,
Mm.
so the drop down can't go in front. So you have to, if you get stuck with that, then you still need to bring a developer in to fix it.
Error. That's a
Mm.
huge
Mhm.
error, right?
Totally. I don't know how it got accepted on Theme Forest because I thought there was some kind of quality control on that
I've
site, but it's like not.
I bought a website from there many years ago, and I had to jam in the I think it was an Instagram ability to put like the little Instagram picture in the link, and like I don't do code stuff, so me jamming it in means I am probably breaking it more in the
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Greg's laughing at me, so
Yeah.
it's failing.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Totally.
yes, we got to try things. I'm like, I would be that business owner that's like, I can do it, you know. But I mean, in the end, when unless you love it, you shouldn't be doing it. I don't think. Yeah.
And also there's a good argument for putting a website up online is just the beginning. You have to make sure it's connected to things like
Yep.
analytics and that anyone's going to find it and all of those other things that are so important. You can't just
Push a
throw
button. You can't just
no,
take a pill. Can't just push a button.
no,
We all
no.
have to. There's things you need to know. Like you can do Google Ads on your own, and many people do. And we spend lots of time fixing what many
Yeah.
people do and trying to explain. I mean, there's a huge education component to marketing now, and marketing and politics are kind of intertwined a little, which I find interesting too.
Okay. Let's get on to the next thing
Yeah,
because we have another
what is
big
the
thing.
next thing?
My favorite thing that I found is this Amazon um, is going to be selling cars. Hyundai, I guess, is going to be selling its car on Amazon, and that includes Prime delivery. No, I'm kidding. It includes delivery. I don't know if it's Prime. I don't know if you can get it overnight, but I thought that was pretty interesting and a new switch because that's not something that I would consider. I wouldn't want to buy a car online. I don't think. I don't know if many people do. I like to look at them online and do my research on what kind of car and what kind of specs I want, but I don't know if I'd want to buy one in particular. What do you guys think?
Hmm. Um, there's a whole car industry, like the industry I was telling you when I worked at Reach Local. There was a sales rep that took care of the car Google
Yeah,
Ads. Like, they took care of the dealers. They did their own Google Ads things, um, and so nobody else could sell Google Ads to anybody because it's different. I don't even know if the login's different, but I know that there's specialties in cars, in hotels. Like you're a specialist in that type of marketing, like Google Ads, hotel marketing, or car marketing. And so I don't really know. I know like car dealers spend a lot of money, and they're also technically some of the richest people in the country.
Oh, they're
So,
the highest income earners, like
right.
of the top 1% of Americans, they're the top 1% majority.
Yeah. Cars have been really topsy turvy since COVID, right? I don't know if they're like, I know they were higher in value. And so that's funny. I don't know if I'd buy a car online. I won't be the first. That's for sure.
yeah,
So
I could see some people buying a car online, specifically for businesses looking for vehicles for fleet, like rental
Oh, yeah.
car rental companies,
Okay, yeah.
um, any construction related businesses who need vans and things like that. Do you need to really go in to see those types of vehicles? No, you are like, this is the type of vehicle I need for my work purposes. What are the options? This is my budget, kind of a thing, and order it up and get it. You don't really test drive it. Oh, this feels good. Like who cares? So I can see that market maybe turning a lot more to like just ordering online, possibly. But for the consumers, like the four of us, I want to know, I want to test drive, I want to see it, I want to know the features.
Touch it. Yeah,
I
I
don't
want.
want to just do it online.
Ooh, I don't know,
Yeah.
because the sales guys, I don't know if I'd like it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you're cutting out the sales guy, right? And they make a pretty penny probably. So does the car get cheaper?
Oh,
Ooh,
but do people
There
get to
that
affiliate sell them? That's what I want to know. There is a salesperson.
mm,
so Pip, you touched on the part that I found to be the most interesting one because I looked into it and I wasn't sure if this was going to circumvent the dealership market, but apparently it's all done through the dealerships. So it's whatever your local Hyundai dealership, they post theirs on Amazon and you're buying from it based on your location.
yeah, fair. But
Uh,
then but can the dealership get rid of the sales guy? And Rena, I need you to repeat what you said because I was so excited about what I was saying. Um,
I just think it's are we going to be able to affiliate sell cars,
I think
you
that's
know?
interesting
Like,
too.
can I
I
do that?
like the
Can I do
Subaru. I like
my
Subaru.
car, my car
My
comparison or
five
whatever?
top choices of cars for
Yeah,
2024.
yeah,
Here's a
exactly.
link. Here's a
Yeah,
link to buy them on Amazon and
Right.
get your
exactly.
referral.
That's what I want to
uh,
know because those kinds of spreads, like 5% or 1% or even
It's a
would be
lot.
yeah, that
Yeah.
would be great. I would get into that.
Mm.
I
uh,
would dig that.
So I have a.
well, the
Oh, go on.
Sorry, I was just because it's related to that. Your affiliate link for Amazon doesn't necessarily have to be that product that you're promoting. An affiliate Amazon link also works
Yes.
that if you purchase anything within the 24 hours, you get credit for that.
Isn't that
Oh,
So if they buy the car within the 24 hours, you get that one or 2%, whatever it is. Um, yeah, there's Tom Scott, the YouTuber, did like he would read out what people had bought off of his Amazon link because you get to see what everyone bought, and there's like
that's really
uh,
interesting? Because isn't that I don't know. You
it
could you
doesn't
not
say who it
cross?
is.
I know, but I mean, yeah. It is really interesting. I have never had time to do Amazon affiliates, but I know lots of people who do. Now, if you are listening or catching the replay, let us know. Would you buy a car? Or I get what Greg was saying with the fleets. I like what Rena's saying with the affiliates, and yeah, do we get rid of the sales reps? And I always looked at car sales reps as kind of like people I didn't want to be, but maybe they made a lot of money and maybe I was mistaken, but maybe that's going to change. So I'm like, that's really interesting. We are moving. I didn't ever want to buy shoes with affiliate, like from without trying them on. And I've now bought two pairs of shoes without trying them on. And in some ways, it's just easier, you
I
know?
mean, once you know your size.
I have I have I do almost all of my clothes shopping and shoe shopping online now.
Oh,
And yeah, I do two big bulk clothes shopping from three different stores a year during their sale time. And it keeps me on budget is what it does because I'm not actually actively going out and shopping and buying those pretty things that don't really work and not what I need. Do you know?
yes, yes, yes.
So it really helps me keep on budget. That's one of my budget. Same with the online grocery shopping. It's one of my budget hacks to stay on budget. You online shop, and
Interesting.
then you might just go and get a couple of things, in between. But that's what I do.
I,
I keep a list of all of my black things that I'm waiting to come up in Black Friday sales, and
uh,
I just purchased two air filters, and they're on their way, and they're a
yeah.
good deal. So
Speaking
yeah,
of
so I've
Black
saved.
Friday,
Yeah, I love Black Friday. I buy lots of stuff on Black Friday.
I will tell you, the marketer in me is like, because I just went before, so I rushed to work this morning and was doing it last night, but I'm changing ad copy like of 300 ads. This is not like it's no slouches game. You know what I mean? To say Black Friday sales. So because we have a client, like I mean, people, this is the time of year where people make retailers make their budgets. They make their this is it, right? This is the time the next month. So it starts like today, tomorrow, and then it's so I mean, I don't know if any of you are on TikTok or get some of your news on TikTok, but I'll tell you, I feel like I'm being sold on everything through
Oh yeah,
influencers.
I bought,
I'm dying a little bit. Like I'm like, oh, what stuff.
I just bought that huge course. I bought a huge course. It's the biggest thing I don't even know. This biggest thing I've ever purchased online, the
Mhm.
most expensive, and it's the first time that I ever signed up. Oh, actually, okay, that might be a little bit of a lie, but I don't sign up for sales calls very often. But I did sign up for this one, and I dropped a good penny on this, and it came from Instagram. It was an ad from Instagram.
Now, but you like it so far, and that
I
says a lot.
but I feel like I have to because I spent so much money on it that I actually have to buy into it in a very, and I actually think this is the catch. This is actually the thing about selling large ticket items, especially courses, is that when somebody actually drops that kind of money, they actually have to buy into it. They
Invested,
have
you
to like
are
it.
invested.
Otherwise, you would just go
I
down
don't think
that.
I don't think you have to like it so much as you have to give it a good go. And it, you know what I
Yes,
mean?
I'm
Like,
dedicated to it, that's for sure. I'm
right?
absolutely doing the
And you're
work.
committed. So, and I
Yeah,
like that, right? Like to be honest, to learn, you know,
yeah.
you get people that, oh, I'll learn Google Ads in a week. Dude, that's not going to work out. Like, unless you want to be overwhelmed for 8 hours a day for that week, right?
Yeah.
Um, it takes time to learn these things. Yeah, it's very interesting because I do wonder how universities and BCIT keep up because they sell marketing programs. And like you and I know, like that's like asking, hiring a marketer and asking them to take care of all of it.
No, in some ways, I feel like the marketing programs actually teach you real things. In these sort of online programs, a lot of them are geared towards giving you enough to do some things on your own, but it's not a degree, so you can't get to any good level, and all you end up doing is realizing that you can't do it and hiring somebody, and that's kind of the purpose for private courses is to create that funnel. That's actually, we all know that that's a marketing tactic,
I
creating that course.
I think the courses though, like at universities, don't teach the right. Like they do teach some fundamental market. It's like the difference between BCIT and like a university degree. If you go in for what does it fill in when you're a programmer or something, you learn all the theory in university, but you don't. We've
Oh,
met a
yeah.
couple
Degrees,
people.
degrees are organized to be theoretical courses, and then tech schools are definitely where you learn the hands-on stuff. So I'm not suggesting
Yeah,
that, but CIT would
I
teach
don't
you good
see.
stuff, I would imagine.
I haven't seen any Google Ads courses that have like there's not the option of like when you take marketing, say marketing degree, you don't just go in and take the Google Ads and learn everything about Google Ads like cuz they could have a good 4-year program now on marketing. And
You're saying that they don't have Google Ads classes? I'm
they
sure they do.
I don't think they have like I don't think they have like you taking Google Ads as like a semester class in a
Well,
university.
I used to teach Facebook in a semester class, and same with online market research.
But do
So
you
those
think
are
now
classes
that
that
they could learn everything about Facebook in a semester, or would it be a year long? Like, would it be like 101, 102, 103, 104?
they definitely had advanced classes, but they would sort of turn into yeah, at the time. I mean, that was quite a while ago before it was as complicated as it is. So I was teaching in 2009
Mm.
this course, and that was at the beginning of it all. And so I can't really speak to what they're doing now, but I would imagine they do.
Yeah.
I'm I know somebody who teaches in the marketing department. I'm going to ask her and
Yeah.
look at, because you can't really get the course outline, the course selection list until you've become a student at these places. So I would like to see that. I'll ask her for that
Yeah,
and get
yeah.
back to you on that. But yeah, you can do that. And it's definitely better than taking a 12-week, 2-hour a week course that's online, or a self-directed video course. Those things are great if you know what you're already doing, but they can't even get into the detail level of details. You have to know what questions to ask that you're not getting. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
Now,
And
back to our 6 minutes because we got more. I don't know what you guys have, but and that was so much fun, Rena. You better find that out for us.
I would.
We have so search has gone off the hook. We've had what, 2 algorithm updates? Four?
There's 4.
Or
There's
Four?
the annual update, the monthly update, the review spam, and then a spam content.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so yeah, those ones were like the review one was anyone that's like you want to be getting your reviews organically on Google Business Profile.
Yeah.
And then the spam content was again the AI stuff as they're doing another round of detectors.
Right. Yeah. And do you know, okay, this is something I heard. And you know how like those video games have those hidden things in them? Did you know there's something called hidden gems on Google? I have no idea what it is, but I know
no.
it's there and it's like there's hidden gems to find. It's something that's going on and I don't know, I just got lost.
Are they gamifying it? Are they gamifying? It must be.
Honestly,
That
Because
it's
hidden gems are from games. That's
yeah,
what you look for in games.
yeah, the Easter eggs.
right.
That's
Yeah,
what
so I
they're called
have
in video games.
link to my resource about this, which I will put in the chat in the Facebook group Cyberpunk Geeks Marketing Mixer. um, but I'll put it in there. But I thought that was really interesting. And the other thing I know is the Raider Guide. It has less pages, so there's 6 less pages. They updated it. It's still really hard to read because it's like 193 pages now. But that's the Google Ads Raider Guide. Is there any, we got a couple more minutes. Who's got the rest?
Yeah, there's one more thing that Meta has got a new paid subscription plan in the EU.
Oh, what?
No ads. Yeah.
Are
Meta
they
has
testing that? Or?
I see. Well, I feel like they've probably used that as the solution to EU's privacy laws. And so they're offering a subscription version in the EU already. That's been rolled out or is in the process of being rolled out. And it means that you can't really run ad campaigns or boost posts for anyone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
okay. That's interesting because Google's also
Oh.
gotten you can make notes, right, Phelan? They're trying to make it
Yeah,
you
you can
follow
add
people.
Let me
yeah,
rephrase.
publicly available notes.
Yeah. And rephrase that. What, Rena?
Yeah, I need to rephrase it. So if you have signed up for a subscription, you cannot launch Google Ads. So it's just those people that can't launch Google Ads.
Oh.
There's something going on. I mean, sorry, Meta Ads. What am I saying? Google Meta Ads.
And I think the last thing I have is Google Business Profile. Make sure you go and check it out. Every week right now, there's a new process for appeals. There's the ability to, if you're like a plumber or somebody that doesn't have an office, take a picture of where you are on your office location, and you can get approved for your Google Business Profile like that now. So that's changed. And you can add your social links if you're American. Well, and that's George. He's coming to say goodbye, I guess. We are. Oh, go on.
No, that's it. I was just going to make a comment about George. It's not funny. It's not funny.
We are off in a few weeks, and I know most people who are going to see this think that the monthly marketing update is next week. I'm really sorry about that. It's actually, so I'm going to update that in our events. And we will see you next week. Do we know who's talking about what? Yeah.
Next week is you and I, Pip. We're doing how and why do WordPress track you?
Does.
Does.
How and
why
yeah. In
does
on the thing it says how and why do websites track you?
That'll be a really great conversation.
Yeah.
Sounds like we're updating. Sounds like we're updating the banner or some text somewhere, which is probably me.
No, I just read it wrong.
Oh.
How and why do websites track you?
Yeah, that makes sense.
That-
Yeah.
That's a topic. All right, we will see you all next week. If you're joining us on YouTube or on a Facebook group business page, we are in the group Cyberpunk Geeks Marketing Mixer. Come join us over there. Okay, bye.
And happy Thanksgiving to all Americans.
Oh, yes.
Exactly.
And happy Black Friday.
Yes.
Bye.